G'day viewers, it's Michael here again for SingleRacer, and I am very excited to welcome not only just over 100 but well over 100 new subscribers in the last few weeks, thanks to that superb video by Mike Smith over at SimRacing 604, who did that tribute to me. Gee, that man knows class when he sees it, doesn't he? So welcome to you all, and also I'm more than happy to welcome advanced drivers, but my channel is also about beginner drivers and even newbies. I was once a newbie myself, so I know how it feels. So if you've just come over from a random video of mine that you saw on YouTube, you're all completely welcome, and I genuinely hope I can make improved videos over time, especially now that I've just bought the Oculus Rift. So in that regard, there was one video that I'd planned, and it was going to be like a big two-parter that I planned well before, probably for the last month and a half, but I just wanted to give it the time it needed to do it properly. And my brother, who's also a terrific sim racer, maybe arguably a bit better than myself, we have this routine where we get together once a month because of his busy work schedule, and we race against each other, and he's going to do that this Saturday. So I figured it was better to leave that 2D or the last PC monitor style video till next week, and then hopefully after that's done I'll be moving completely then to VR videos, with the exception of maybe I do random Top Gear test track videos, so which use an external camera just like the TV show. So in that case the VR wouldn't be needed. So other than that exception, I hope to go fully VR from then on. And so it made sense this morning to do a follow-up video to my last one, which was about taking old 2D replays and turning them into VR extravaganzas. Now I kind of clowned around in that last video, but I want to take a replay that I'd already did. It's actually up on YouTube, but do it from that full VR point of view, but without the clowning around in it. Now, the other thing I wanted to do was use another example where, as creators, we're trying to constantly think of ways to marry certain features in the different games, the sim racing games we have, and as well as be creative in the way we put those together. So the obvious one is Project Cars 2, where it gives you the thing of the rain and you have the night racing, so you could combine the rain and the night racing, things like that. All those things we're trying to think of creative ideas. So what I wanted to show you at the start of this, because I as you can see here, this is one of my favorite cars in the game Assetto Corsa, the crossbow, and it's because Alex over at the Extra Mile and I come from a slightly different era where we tend to like my first car, for example, had cross-ply tyres on it, so I've always kind of liked that feeling of where you're just sliding on the tyres, the old grip of the GP Legends and the GT Legends games, where you had no real grip. It wasn't like an F1 car that just stuck solidly to the ground. So the crossbow has that old classic feeling to me. So what I want to do is marry the features that are already in Assetto Corsa of the different camera angles with the added feature of VR. So let me show you that now. Okay folks, so here we are in the car. I'm on the Nordschleife Tourist version of the track, and what I want to show you now is just how another example where you can marry different things. So I'm taking the VR experience of being able to look around and basically make it act as though it's a kind of a version of a camera, but also change the replays. Now, the different camera angles. Now, the way I'm doing that, if you haven't seen that, is if you come down to help here, you have these bottom for selections. Now the F3 key is kind of pointless because what it is, it's 3 alternate camera angles around the track, so it's not showing the car at all, so that's no good. And the one thing that surprises me is the one I'm going to use most is actually F7. Now I don't know if they've added that in an update, but F7 is not listed here, but that's the one I'll be using. So let me go through now different versions of that, and I'll just take that off so it's out of the road and move the mouse out of the road. So your F1 key, and excuse me here, I'm just using Braille because I can't see the keyboard, so I just have to feel the keys on the keyboard. But your F1 key is your normal standard camera angles that most people are aware of. So if I go out of the car now to the 2 outside ones, these are your typical things. Now have a look at those shocks, don't they look fantastic? Just incredible. And I love this next one where I'm sitting on the bumper right in front of the car, just checking out the road here. Just incredible. And if I alternate, then I end up back at the cockpit view. Now number F6 is just essentially the external outside car view, which is terrific. Now if I press F6 again, which I'm doing now, nothing else happens. So that's that one view, and to go back to the cockpit I would press F1. But now I want to show you F7, and the reason I want to show you this, and this is again just, it's one of those things that can cause arguments, but it's just my personal point of view. But Assetto Corsa is my favourite game, and I love project cars too, but one of the reasons I feel that it's better is I believe that Kunos is the most passionate about the sim racing community. And the reason I say that is, one of the reasons is because they are willing to open up their game to modding. And they're willing to say to people, let's do all the passionate cars you can think of, your favourite tracks, all this type of stuff. We'll open up the game for you, and we want to embrace you. And so one of the ways I feel that they do that is the detail they put into their cars. So let me, again, sorry, I've just got to reach across and feel for the F7 key. There it is. So let me show you now the detail they put into this car. So here we are at the front, and I can say hello to the driver. Now look at the detail of the driver, or seatbelt. They even go to the trouble of making the face, rather than a flat surface, the shape with the nose and everything. So all that detail is there for you to see. So we can see under the floor, well, on the passenger side there, the spare safety belt. And I'm trying to desperately be smooth with my head, but if we now go to the tyres, now I've bought performance tyres for my own car recently, so I know that I'm very familiar with that tread. But the thing that I think where Kunos excels is they've clearly scanned the car, but what amazes me is they've done it in a way where they've scanned parts that you normally don't see. So if I go right down to the front, I can see that front bumper bar there going all the way with the airflow, what's it called, a carbon fibre thing. Now see, if I look under there, I can see the shocks holding that up. Now why would you even bother doing that when you don't have to? It's because they care, to me, about their sim community. So now if I flick from the front there, just the Kunos excels in their detail. And there we are on the back wing now. I don't think I can go far enough back now to see the airflow scoop, but essentially that's the back wing here, and now we're back with the driver. So, and to go back, I would just press the F1 key again, and we're back in the cockpit. So I just wanted to show you that detail that Kunos put into their cars, and I can't guarantee, of course, that this is the same in every car. And most cars, of course, the way they design their body won't let you see inside the car, so that's kind of why I picked this too, apart from being a favourite car of mine. So let's now go and do a race that I previously uploaded, which is my Crossbow versus Audi race. The difference here as opposed to the last video is I won't clown around in this one. I'll just keep quiet, but I just want to show you how VR can open up an old save replay. So let's go to that now. Okay everyone, so here we are in an old replay that I uploaded, which was a duel between the Crossbow and the Audi. Now, one of the things I want to mention is to reiterate that I think it's a great idea having the track map on, as you can see here, even though you know the track. And the reason is because it gives you such a great overview of the cars behind and in front of you. And I just think it's a good idea to see cars coming up, especially the quicker cars, where by the time it reaches Corsa, it might be already too late because they're coming up so fast on you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from the point of view, because I've got about 130 new subscribers, and you might not be aware that I talk about my technique, which is called slow in, fast out. And I just want to cover again about the fact that the Audi coming up is behind me is the faster car, but I feel that a car can often be better overall, and part of that is due to my technique, which is commonly known as slow in, fast out. So what I do is I brake a tiny bit earlier in the corners and balance myself up to get maximum speed. So even though some of you have seen this replay before, and my new subscribers have seen part of this replay in the previous video, I want you to be aware now just to watch how I nearly always catch the car in the corners because of that particular driving technique. Now, I'm not saying it's better, but I just find that it helps me balance and get more speed coming out of the corner. But also now, so now I'm going to keep quiet and just keep it as a serious video, how you could take an old video race that you might have had, and with the VR headset on, just load the replay with your helmet on and give it a new lease of life. So let's start that off now. So of course I know he's coming up, so I'll look in the mirror, there he is, and I'll look at this side of the mirror and let's go. Now I do have the wheel connected because I needed the wheel to move the car in that earlier part of the video, but now I'm just going to use it with my hands on the wheel as though I'm driving a proper and serious lap. So I'll keep quiet and let's go now. And so viewers, as we finish this race, I know this runs the risk of making me sound a little crazy, but what I did was just simply put my wheel on the desk, but unplugged, and I literally pretended that I was racing him online to hopefully make the Oculus Rift headset act as though I would normally be doing this race online. So I hope you enjoyed that, and as we drive into the pits now, I'll say see you later, and I'll catch you next time. Okay, see ya. Thanks for the race.